A very warm welcome to the Personal Growth Leaders members. We don't have any guests today. One of the interesting things that's happening is a lot of people are contacting us through Contact a Club option of Toastmasters International. Strangely enough, they are not turning up to these meetings. Like we are kind of responding to them. Let's see. I think it's all, we will keep doing what we can and we'll see what happens. So this is meeting number 117. So that's really great. I think so that would mean that 52 plus 52, that is 104. So we crossed 2 years and few months. So we have been there for a good bit of time as a club. So hopefully we continue and we grow. And with that, I would like to hand over the gavel to our Toastmaster of this meeting, Kaushal Gupta. Huge round of applause to Kaushal.
Thank you, Sumesh, and my fellow Toastmasters. Today's theme is Seize the Day, or Carpe Diem as it's also known. I've done a little bit of research into the phrase Carpe Diem. There's some debate about what it actually means. The conventional thinking is Carpe Diem means live today as if it's your last day on earth. Just go all out. But that might not actually be quite what it means, because when you translate it from Latin, the word seize is really the word pluck. And in the context, it means pluck the rose buds that are there in your garden while they are there, because you cannot count on them being there tomorrow. So that's a slightly different meaning, to make use of the resources you have today and don't expect them to be around tomorrow. So I think those are both good interpretations. Those are both helpful in life. And maybe when we reach out to the people who are possibly interested in our club, we should tell them, Carpe Diem. Just come to the meeting, try it out, seize the day. And maybe that will get them to try it. I would now like, I guess we can go right into the first speaker, right? Any objections? All right. We can start with the stars of our meeting today. Our first speaker is Fatima. She is on the dynamic leadership path, giving the Reflect on Your Path project with the title, Am I a Dynamic Leader? So please help me welcome Fatima. Am I a dynamic leader?
Let me share my screen before I begin. Okay. This is the time. Okay, good day, fellow Toastmasters. I'm going to seize the evening here in Malaysia. It's 9 p.m. here. And it has been totally a very happy day for me, because we had the district executive council meeting in the morning, 9:30, which went until 12 p.m. And then we started at 1:30 p.m. and finished at 5 p.m. for the district council meeting. Now, this is all the district leaders. I'm sure all of you here, knowing you personally for the past 2 years, you guys have been there. Can I ask you for raise of hands, if you think district council meetings, you learn something? If you learn something, can you put 1 in the chat box. And if the district council meetings are boring, yet it's a requirement compulsory for you to be there, and that's why you went. So basically, the first question is, you think you learned something, and second is, you are there because you have to be. Okay, I see it as a 1. Okay, 1, Kathy, Samesh, 1. I love you guys because I believe in Toastmasters. We are there as leaders because we believe that we need to give back to the community and also grow as leaders. Now, I asked the question, am I a dynamic leader? Because this is my 7th path to complete. And as you can see, I did a PowerPoint. Unfortunately, a disaster happened and I couldn't retrieve my point. I don't know where I searched all my hard drive because we traveled yesterday and came to Kuala Lumpur. So we are here to attend the district council meetings and another convention that is happening. And so unfortunately, I have to show what the highlights of the path, which is on Toastmasters. I did a nice, beautiful PowerPoint, and this is what dynamic means to me. I understood the meaning, but still I Googled to make sure that all of us here understood the meaning in the context, why this path is named as dynamic leadership. Dynamic is somebody who is very positive, according to the dictionary, who has lots of great ideas, good ideas, and at the same time influence and lead a group of members. When I started doing this, I wondered what would I get, because I have run my own non-governmental organization. I have been at the top as a deputy minister in one of the ministries in the model. So I have filled all the leadership roles. What will I gain in this? Now, if you look all across all the parts, we have similar kind of learning that we get from completing these parts. At the first level is the fundamental mastering, which all of us we do, is the icebreaker, and also learning how to give a speech. And at the level 2, across all the parts, we understand ourselves as individuals. Of course, then also you have to do a project, which is mentoring. As you go through the parts, some people I know, all of you have been on international, the group, Facebook group, and Kathy knows we have been called as positive toxic people, because we believe even if you do all the parts, we still learn something. Do you learn something if you do all the parts? Yeah, because it's the mindset we have. Now, even introducing ourselves, we can talk about our lives in different contexts. How I worked in Toastmasters, what I have been doing as an author. So there are different aspects of life that we can talk about. Now, at the 3rd level, which is increasing knowledge. Now, as we go through how Toastmasters, they have categorized into different levels, is that from the beginning, we build up our knowledge. And on the 3rd level, we are going at a higher level. So that is where we increase our knowledge. Now, at this level, we are required to do lesser projects, which is 2. And of course, you have the compulsory project, which is mine. This project is to negotiate the best outcome, which I completed last month here in this club. Of course, I talked about Joan and myself, moving and our relationship. And this is something challenging because we have electives which is similar across all the parts. Of course, you have the opportunity to select. So in this one, I have almost done all the projects. In this part, I chose, unfortunately, I don't have the slides, which I did the PowerPoint using the visual aid, and also I did connect with storytelling. And for the level 4, it was on building skill. Again, it's going up. I had to do the manage change. I talked about the context of change in Toastmasters, which I did in my home club. So basically, and then this one, level 4, I did another. I manage online meetings and manage projects successfully. Now, level 5 is the highest, which I completed leading, and in any situation, I talked about my area director position and the learning. Now, I will close this. Now, ladies and gentlemen, can you put in the chat box the number of parts that you have completed? How many parts have you completed? One, Satya. Kaushal, 1. I thought you completed more. System 1. Okay, 2 so much. Thank you so much.
6.
John says 6. Oh, wow. 30. Yeah, okay, you completed. So the learning has been that it's hard to quantify and say, this is my learning as a dynamic leader. Now, for me, the key from this path is we don't learn about to be a dynamic leader by doing this path, to be honest. But if you take it into your life and apply it, and it helps you to go back to your experience, because for us, unlike new Toastmasters, they come here to learn to learn about communication, speaking, and all these skills they need to learn. But for us, more experienced Toastmasters, that's the challenge we need. Find ways how the parts, the levels, they can integrate and help us. I wouldn't say help, but learn. So ladies and gentlemen, even if it's boring doing the same levels, take it as in the context that you're learning and progressing. I know that. So keep on doing that. Thank you. Back to you.
Thank you very much, Fatima. That was a very useful analysis of the dynamic leadership path. I wish that kind of analysis was available for every path in Toastmasters, starting with a path title. What does that path title even mean? And how do the various levels of projects take you down that goal? So it's kind of hard to, when you're in the Toastmasters Pathways program online, it's kind of hard to get a good overview of the path, in my opinion. So I really found out that analysis, that big overview, to be helpful. We'll now go on to speaker number 2, John Cully, who, pardon me, who is also going to be speaking from the Dynamic Leadership Path. This is the Leading in Your Volunteer Organization, about his experience in a leadership role for at least 6 months within a volunteer organization. The title of his speech is Area Director. So please help me welcome John with his speech, Area Director.
Thank you very much, Causal. Area director. I know some people have been area directors, they've been division directors. I know some people are going to be area directors. Yeah. So the reason I picked area director is because this is the first time in Toastmasters that I have actually had a team, a large team, because I had 4 presidents that I was dealing with, as well as VPEs, VPMs, etc. So I became the area director of G1 last year, 2021, 2022. Yeah. I started off by straight away was to know what everybody wanted, because it's essential when you're starting off is what do they want, and that's how I started off. Now it was I wouldn't say it was easy, but my own club was there in my area, MIM Toastmasters Club, and previously I'd been the president, and we made president distinguished in that year with 10 points in 4 months. So I wanted to get my area up as high as possible. I start off with. I had one problem, one club that was very difficult. I know the club quite well because as the president, it was in my area last year. The area director the year before that wanted to close the club down, and the year before that they wanted to close this club down, so it didn't have a very good track record to start off with. So I was asked whether when I took over, I said no, keep it going, because I've been to the club a few times. I felt that the club was a good club. It was a corporate club. When I went, only about 4 or 5 people used to turn up. So a lot of the time they had to have people from outside to help them out. So this was the problem at the moment. I also felt that they needed somebody to help them out. They needed a coach, a couple of coaches to put in. So the first thing I did was to look around for the coaches. Now, before I took over as area director, I didn't realize that this corporate club was a member of a larger company. So they had a company in Division 80, and they had a company in Division 51. So I went to 51. Now, my division director at the time chose 2 people in my district to be their coaches. And I went against my division director and said, no, I've got somebody in mind. And his name was Albert, from Albert Noor, his name is, who's from Division 31. Now, these companies, both the companies had Toastmasters in, and both had been president distinguished. Now, my idea was quite simple: is peer pressure. Yeah, they were both these other Toastmasters club were in the same company but a different division, and I thought bringing somebody in from their other company would put more pressure on them. within something like 2 months, the meeting started off having at least 20 people in them. At the present time now, because I'm division director and I've still got that club, there's 26 members, and it's a very, very strong club in this division and district, one of the higher ones. So the groundwork was in, and they started building up. And I made friends with quite a few of the people, the new president. I knew what the problem was. It was the company's HR department. Because when I used to visit the club, there used to be visitors. And the visitors were always saying they want to join the club, but HR would not let them. Now, the new president was the HR manager. So again, psychologically, he wanted the club to do well because he was the president. And with the other guy, Albert, from the other company, the other Toastmasters, there was a certain amount of pressure in there. As I say, now they're a very strong club, a very strong club. And they've said that I get asked, even as division director, I have not missed one of their meetings in the last year and well, it's coming up to 2 years. Even as the division director, I go to their meetings, and I'm unofficial member because I'm always there. Well, if I go, Fatima's got to go. So we're both always there at that meeting. And they said, and they love me and Fatima to be there to help them, because I always go as a evaluator to evaluate them. As I say, they're very strong. They're getting very strong. So when I got my 360 back from them, I found that there was a lot of good points about what I bring to their club and how I've helped their club. And on a last note, I was the only area director in Division G to become President Distinguished. And I was given a plaque as the top area director. They give you an area director of the year, which I got at the last AC. So I'm proud of that. So I'm very proud of that. And I've enjoyed so far my life in Toastmasters. And you think I've only been in Toastmasters 4 years. So I'm building up now. I'm a division director. I'm taking a rest. I'm letting people like Kathy take over as area directors, and I'm going to start going into contests and see how I get on with that. Okay, back to you, Galzo.
Thank you very much, John Khalid. That was a very interesting look at the challenges of being an area director and working with a mixture of successful and struggling clubs. I found it especially intriguing how the lead of the HR that was keeping people out of the club was now the president of the club. And congratulations on being the area director of the year. That is a huge accomplishment. Hats off to you. We will now get into the table topic session of the club. And remember, our theme is Seize the Day. So do not hesitate to take this challenge up. And helping us out, I believe our topics master is Samesh Kumar. Samesh?
Thank you very much, Kaushal. So we'll have topics around the theme of Carpe Diem. The first topic I would give to Teresa. There is a quote which is from Robin Williams. It says, "Carpe diem, seize the day, make your lives extraordinary." What are your thoughts on that?
Thank you very much, Mr. Toastmaster. Fellow Toastmasters, seize the day. Yes, carpe diem, so important. Start in the morning with reflecting on what came before today and what needs to happen today. I love my intelligent change planner. It really helps me to look at my rocks, what's important, and also my pebbles, which are important, but not the main focus of my day. And of course, there's always that sand to fill in those extra little times in the day. What I find is if I seize the day by using my planner, I often, not always, I often get what I want to do done. And I feel good about that. I'm no longer missing appointments. I think I need extra help when it comes to, I need to be here at this time, but also I think that it helps me to focus on what's really important. So I encourage you, if you're not seizing the day, if you're not giving yourself that positive step towards the day, start now and see how much it does help you continue and be more successful. Back to you, Mr. Table Topics.
Thank you very much, Teresa. Anyone else want to volunteer for that topic? No, I don't see anyone. Okay, Kaushal, please go ahead. Thank you.
Oh, is it the same topic? Yeah, I also have a planner. I don't use it as diligently as Teresa does. I use it as a bullet journal. And I find on the days that I do use it, I am able to make more out of those days, even if I just write a sentence or two reflecting on the day I had and what I learned from it, because I feel that the day has at least not been totally lost. So I would recommend using a journal to help you seize the day, but by reflecting on the day. That way, it's like you've kept the day preserved in your life somehow. You've made part of the day permanent. The day may be gone, but something of that day will remain behind as a lesson in your journal from that moment on. So I think journaling your life is a great way to beat the standard of carpe diem. Mr. Topic Master.
Thank you very much, Kaushal. Nice answers by Teresa and Kaushal. Thank you. Next question I'd like to ask Satya. Is it better to live in the moment or plan for the future?
Thank you, DTM Somesh. Excellent topic. I would suggest we should seize the moment as well also look at the future. The other day I was listening into a small snippet by Dickie Bird. If you follow cricket, one of the greatest umpires in the cricketing world. He's about 91 years now. He was suggesting that at this age and time, he looks at 5-year intervals. He plans his life for 5 years. So he says, I'll get into 95, then I aspire to reach 100 sooner or later. So you should look at the present day, present moment, as the previous speakers have said. I too have not a journal, but a to-do list every morning. Invariably, after my coffee, I write down certain things which are official and which are personal. Both things I make a small list, and I come into my office space at home. This is where I'm sitting now, and try and finish off all of the tasks, tick off everything for the day. Then I also have a long-term plan. For instance, next week I'm shifting my residence. I plan for a weekly what I need to do till the day of my shifting. And subsequently, when I reach a new house or new place, what all I need to do, I would have written down in a diary or a book of like that. In my earlier times, when I was 25 or 30-year-old, I had a very longish kind of list, 5-year list, 10-year list, and 25-year list like that. And invariably, I'm happy to tell you all that I have accomplished each and every item I have noted in that list. So I would recommend that each one of us, according to your own design of life, what you want to do in life, what you want to achieve for yourself or your family, try and note down certain things, give some time period, be specific about it. That's what I've read. Be specific what you want to achieve and write it down and try and accomplish that. Back to you.
Thank you very much, Satya. We learned a lot from your answer of the topic. Next, I would like to give the topic to Kathy, maybe. Kathy, is it better to make decisions based on logic and reason or follow your instincts and emotions?
That is a very interesting question. I think that sometimes we have to use a combination of both. It's, I've been going through a thought process for quite a few years about this decision about leadership within Toastmasters. And it was interesting this week after I finally decided I'm going to step away from competing and I'm going to put my hat in the ring for area director. And then I got nominated as an area director from one of the people I was asking help from research. And when I posted about it yesterday on my timeline on Facebook, the amount of support that I've gotten has been unbelievable. And I had people messaging me privately and everything. I mean, I know I've got a great support group here, but it was interesting that all of a sudden things start working in your direction. But then another thing happened is that I went to watch a competition with a friend competing who came in second in the world 2 years ago, and she didn't even win her division contest. And I'm just like, I still don't understand the whole judging process, because I look at things and I'm like, this does not make sense to me. But to me, it was kind of a sign that I need to work on my speaking skills. And I can do that by becoming an area director and working on my leadership skills. Because my speech I did last week, I realized the struggle I've had with leadership. Toastmasters is helping me overcome that fear that I've had. So the fear is kind of our gut reaction to things, but the leadership that I've seen throughout Toastmasters has helped me to actually look at the real issue and start going for things. So sometimes we have to use our gut reaction and reality have to combine to get to our answers and go ahead. I don't know if that makes sense, but I'm seeing that I'm going on the better path by going ahead and just jumping in and doing those things. And thank you guys for pushing me, nudging me a little bit in that direction. Thank you, fellow Toastmasters.
Thank you very much, Kathy. And we wish you all the best in your role as area director. We are sure you'll do great. Next, who has not spoken? Maybe Tristan. Don't watch the clock. Do what it does. Keep going. What are your thoughts on that?
Thank you so much, Somesh, for that question. I love that statement. That is actually the first time I've ever heard it. I am not a clock watcher. I like to push forward, although I do maintain consciousness of the time, but I like to push forward with whatever mission or task I have. I will say, though, a topic I've been focusing on lately, the idea of just keep going, I personally think is such a positive, energizing idea. Although I know in Westernized culture, the idea of keep going, do better, let's go, of of not really prioritizing rest and always prioritizing work and ambition. There has to be a middle ground. And in my life, I'm learning how and where to find that. Mr. Table Topics Master, fantastic question, and certainly could go on for a bit of time. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Tracy. Anyone else wanted to go for that topic? No. There is another quote who did not speak. Probably I'll give to Fatima. Success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts.
Thank you, Topics Master. What a wonderful question. I'm not even going to summarize this statement. I would say that failure is part of learning in life. Now, yesterday I was lying on bed and thinking, in the past, so many things have happened in my life from the beginning as a child to youth and adulthood, thinking whether anybody, people would have had the chance to recover or even, get through all this. And it made me realize, for all the suffering, for all what has happened to me, I'm stronger. I have become who I am today because of all the failures, of all the suffering that has happened. So if you want to succeed in life, it's the mentality and the mindset we have to change. If you just let everything, all what you're going through even today, or you may be going through tomorrow, if the failures and all the disappointments, challenges in life, if you let it fail you, then you won't succeed in life. The power is challenge everything with all the determination and come out stronger, and you will succeed. So ladies and gentlemen, stay strong, have the growth mindset and challenge everything that comes to you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Fatima. Very nicely conveyed, really motivating. Now, I would like to give the next topic to John. Do not wait for opportunities, create them. Do not wait for opportunities, create them.
Yes, I agree with that statement. Sometimes opportunities drop in your lap, but other times you have to engineer it so they drop into your lap, if you understand me. By putting a word here and a word there, you can actually get people to give you those opportunities. I remember years ago when I was working, I actually worked in a factory, and they were working what we call, they were making what we call purlins. Purlins are like a beam that is in the roof of factories, and it's galvanized iron, like an aluminium, and it goes through a machine that shapes it. Now, when I just moved to this area, I didn't have a job. I got any job. That's what I usually do. So I got a job in this factory, and I was one of the machinists. Yeah. At first, I was at the end taking the aluminium off the deck. Then I became the machinist. And there was a job came up, foreman. Now, I'd only been in this company about 4 months. And I happened to be in the office, and I heard the manager talking, saying they've got no candidates for the job. So what I did is when I saw the manager and I walked out and I says, do you know, I fancy being the guy in charge. I says, if you give me the opportunity, you won't regret it. And then I got the job. I became the foreman of all the people in the factory. And then the guys were asking me, how did you get that job? I've been in the business 10 years. I've been doing this, and you've been here 4 months, 5 months, sort of thing. And I didn't want to disappoint him. I said, you don't know what experience I've got. Because I didn't want to say, well, that's how it crumbles. But opportunities, if you get opportunities or you see opportunities where you can actually go forward in your life, go and take them. Yeah. Then learn how to do it while you're on the job, because that's what I did. Back to you, David Dogs Master.
Thank you very much, John, for sharing a very nice, interesting part of your life, which really motivated us. With that, I would like to conclude our table topic session and hand over the virtual gavel to our Toastmaster of the meeting, Kaushal Gupta.
Thank you so much, Samesh, and to our table topic speakers. I learned a lot from everyone's speech today. So thank you all for helping me understand better how I could carpe this diem. I would now like to ask Satya to please lead our evaluation section of the meeting.
Thank you, DTM Somesh. Let us begin our next session, evaluation session. May I now invite Teresa, evaluator 1 of speaker 1. Teresa.
Thank you very much, Mr. GE. Fellow Toastmasters, and most especially Fatima. Am I a dynamic leader? I was hoping you would jump in, and I wanted to put, yeah. So, but honestly, your speech, you excelled at your growth, explaining, I think, your growth of what it meant to be on this path. Although you felt that this path didn't help you to achieve that, I could see that there were a lot of things that you did learn because you did reflect on it. I really liked how you shared the PowerPoint, the TI PowerPoint, because as Kaushal had said, it helped him see and us as well, how you structured your speech. So it helped you in the framework, but it also helped us to follow along. And I also, as I said at the beginning, I loved your title. I think the title was perfect for this speech because you are reflecting on, am I a good speaker? As I mentioned, I would have loved to have been able to say rah, rah, for you at the beginning, but instead, the first words we heard were, can I share the screen? And that's probably something that we just need to have access so we don't feel that we have to ask for it. So that's not really your issue. And also, I think that your table topics really demonstrated how you have grown as this dynamic leader. And that would have been the perfect conclusion, because it really got deep into how you feel about being that leader. To challenge yourself, I find that PowerPoints take over. And when you're just that small little screen, and I did have to go and put you on screen and speaker, I didn't really get to feel you or see your facial expressions. Whereas I say in table topics, I saw it all. I saw the gestures, I saw the facial feeling, how you really got into it. And I know you've done that before, placing yourself in the PowerPoint, but as this was not the presentation that you had expected to give, I think you did a wonderful job. So congratulations, because that's what a dynamic leader is all about. being able to be flexible as you are. Wonderful job. Thank you very much. Back to you, Mr. GE.
Thank you, DTM Teresa. Excellent evaluation. I liked it very much. I don't have much to add, except that I would appreciate the speaker engaging the audience by asking questions. That is one thing I noticed. Very well done. Now let me move on to the second evaluator, Kathy Draper, for the speaker 2 of this session today.
Thank you, fellow Toastmasters, and especially John Khaled. I had no idea what this project was going to be, and it is extremely relevant to my life by coincidence. I love you gave us such a comprehensive rundown of what you did as an area director. I can see now why you have gotten the awards you have. I mean, the troubleshooting that you did on this particular, to see a club that for 2 years they were trying to shut it down, and you dug deep to find out what was really going on. That's what a true leader does. And I love that you took us on this journey. This is one of those type of speeches when we have these little check marks on our sheets for gestures and vocal variety. It really doesn't lend itself to that. You always have your vocals and everything with every speech you do, because I've had the opportunity to evaluate you a couple of times. It's always just your clarity. Everything's great. I love the way you broke this down. The one thing that I would like to see is a little bit more 360. You did target us a lot more on one. I'd like to know a little bit more about the other, because there was other clubs involved. You got a 360, but you didn't give us a 360. If you see what I'm saying, you told us about the one club. It sounds like maybe just the other clubs were succeeding, unless I missed it. The other clubs were succeeding, but you focused so much on this one club. It would be nice for this type of speech that where you got a 360, that you gave us a 360 also. That's the only little thing that I would see to challenge you, is because it was such a great speech. And again, as I said, I can see why you and Fatima do so great, that you dug in on this particular corporate club, and now that you have it thriving. I seek as a future leader to be more like you guys, and I hope I can pick your brains for the future. It was a great speech, and I look forward to. I am glad to see that you're almost through with this path. Keep up the great work. I greatly admire both of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Kathy. That was an excellent evaluation. I liked it very much. I don't have anything to add. John's speech was extraordinary. He took us through many of his experiences as an area director. It was very well articulated. Now, moving on, let me now go on to the events of the meeting. I think it started on time. Timer, would you please, Tristan? It started on time, I hope.
Thank you.
Started on
I'm
time.
sorry, would you like me to share the timers report?
If you can do that, please.
Absolutely. Yes. So for our speakers, Fatima, the time frame was 8 to 10 minutes, and she came in at 10 minutes and 27 seconds. Speaker number 2, John, 5 to 7 minutes, and he came in at 7 minutes, 32 seconds. Table topics for 1 to 2 minutes each. Teresa at 1 minute, 42 seconds. Karshal, 1 minute, 12 seconds. Sathya, 1 minute, 59 seconds. Kathy, 2 minutes and 17 seconds. Fatima, 1 minute and 54 seconds. John, 2 minutes and 2 seconds. Tristan, 1 minute and 13 seconds. And for our evaluators, for time frame 2 to 3 minutes, Teresa was at 2 minutes, 53 seconds, and Kathy, 2 minutes and 14 seconds. Back to you, Mr. General Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Tristan. The excellent report. For a moment, we lost your volume of your voice. It's okay. Now, coming to the right from the beginning, regrettably, we don't have the president. We didn't get to hear the president's speech today. Nevertheless, we hope next week president will be there. Or today, I thought Sumesh was the president. Somesh, you acted as the president today, I thought. Anyway, now moving on to DTM Kaushal, I would really congratulate you for your excellent theme of the day, Carpe Diem. I never have heard it, but I wouldn't comprehend what it was. I didn't know this. Very, very good theme, which I appreciate very much. And also your introductory speech before the session began. Now, moving on to the table topics, DTM Somesh, I really like all of your topics and the responses given by the speakers. I learned a lot, in fact, in today's session of table topics, just because your questions were so well articulated, so well drawn. I thought each of the speakers had a message to convey, which is their own experience, which I'll take home and perhaps also try and comply with, adopt some of the messages I received. Moving on, let me now invite the grammarian for the grammarian report. Grammarian is Teresa, or who is the grammarian?
We actually don't have one today.
We don't have one. I thought seize the day was the word today.
It is, and pretty much everyone used it.
Used it, right? Okay. Anyway, I like each and every speech today. Essentially, John came out with many of the examples of being an area director, which I really enjoyed them a lot. So all in all, it was an excellent meeting. I have nothing else to add. Back to you, Modi.
Thank you very much to Satya and his evaluation team for giving us useful feedback and ideas on how to keep on improving. Are there any announcements from anybody before we adjourn?
Yep. Just one thing in terms of, because we are in end of April now, and then by end of June or before end of June, we need to have our new committee. So I would request everyone to please consider nominating yourself for the different roles. You all know what the roles are: President, VP, VP M, VP PR. Then we have Treasurer, Secretary, Sergeant at Arms. So the 7 roles that we have. So please do consider nominating yourself. I guess we do need people to step up and run the club and bring it to its best glory. I would say, I think it's important that we have those leaders who can bring in that new enthusiasm and new energy into the club so that it keeps growing. So please do consider to take on the roles. It'll be really appreciated. What we were thinking was probably maybe start the process, like we can send in the message today in the WhatsApp as well. And for anyone who has not attended today, they can consider. And then we can get the nominations, and probably 2 weeks for nominations. And then we can announce the new committee, so that if there is any handover that needs to take place, that can happen as well between, say, mid-May to end of June. So we'll have around 1.5 months for the handovers as well. Some handovers needs to take place. Please do consider, and Carpe Diem, as our Toastmaster of the meeting has said, seize the day, seize the opportunity, and we can make this club, bring it to the highest glories as much as we can. So thank you very much. You have your hand raised, Teresa.
Yes, I was just wondering if we could just check the schedule for next week, or will we end the meeting first?
Yeah, I think we can check the schedule. Thank you very much for the meeting today.
So we have two speakers next week. We have Tristan and Kaushal speaking. And I just asked Satya, could you be Toastmaster next week? John and